Right, so I've got this back on together now. Very difficult to film, put it back on, but basically make sure that all the linkages go in the right place. And I've actually just put this carburetor back on. I had a quick look underneath it, put some fuel in because it's completely run out. First of all, I thought it wasn't leaking, so there was nothing coming out the bottom of it. And then I realised there was no fuel in it, so I filled it up hesitantly a little bit, and there's nothing leaking out of it, so I've not tried it yet. But I've actually just got these linkages back. It's such a faffy thing to work on. They're just garbage engines really, these, but you know, if it makes you a profit. And also a bird's managed to, you know, lose itself, let's say, halfway down the side, just exactly where I want it to work. But anyway, let's just try and start this up and see if it works. So it's not leaking, and the float should be set in the correct position, so we'll try. I'll just put this on this tripod and we'll give this a go. Make sure there's nothing underneath it, of course. So easy to leave something under there. Right, let's put this onto choke. Still nothing leaking out of there. Let's try this. I'm pretty happy with that. So the ball really in the carb just wasn't working right. That's all it was. It was just overfilling. It was just pouring back out through the top of the carb all over the bottom of there, and I started that up, and as you can see, even the throttle works great there. So still a few jobs to do on this. That handle's really loose. That wants tightening up. I need to take the blade off the bottom of it and take that guard off as well, because the drive's working but it's struggling to pull along, so it may want some adjustment on the cable. I think really it just wants to go clean out. It's struggling against all the grass under there. If the handle wants tightening up, I'll sharpen the blade, change the oil. I might even have to get a new cable for the self-drive, because it looks a little bit frayed. But all in all, I've got it working. It's not leaking fuel, and even for one of these, it even idles reasonably well. So so far so good. It just wants a bit of a service, but now I know I can get it running. It's not pouring fuel out. I'm really happy with that. I've actually just had a thought. I've just remembered the guy who bought it. I've actually said he had a lot of problem starting it up after he'd stopped it, so I thought I'd just better try that before I put it away. Normally don't bother putting it onto choke. No problem starting that up once it had been the only reason he's had problems starting it up again is because the fuel's been pouring out all over grass, I would imagine, and as long as he's been mowing, it's been using it at a relatively similar speed to it needs to be used once he got it going. Of course, if it's stood, it's not burning the fuel off, it will all pour out over the top. So yeah, it starts. I'm pretty confident that's going to run really well. We'll just I'm a bit concerned about this cable. I just don't like the look of this one here. This is when you come to sell things, if someone comes to pick this up, this cable's pretty had it, but I don't really want to have to replace it all, but I'm going to have to chase this through here. So while I get it off, I might just, the easiest way to do this is actually just to whip the petrol tank off, so you can just let a bit of fuel out this carb so you ain't got petrol everywhere when you turn it over. I'll turn the oil out of this as well, and I can tip it over once I've removed the spark plug lead, get underneath it and take this box off underneath this belt guard off, and I can get in underneath, clean everything out, and it shouldn't be too difficult to reroute this cable to the back of the box. I'm going to have to buy one of them, unfortunately, otherwise I'm going to get someone take it home and it's going to snap. So a little bit unlucky with that one, but it hasn't cost me too much money, this. Potentially it's a good mower. It's a nice large cut as well. It's a SP534 is this one, so yeah, I'm going to have to do the cable as well. Also the pull cord just looks a little bit frayed as well. You can see here to look a little bit tatty, is that, so, but it starts and runs okay. A few little jobs want doing on this one. It's a little bit time consuming, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. So I've decided what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to take this belt guard off and just clean out under there and see if there's good access to get this actual drive cable off. I might replace that. I was just about to go on my bike this morning, this little jog. I've done some videos on this in the past. I actually put it on the stand here, and this half of the stand's actually snapped off. You can see under there it's actually touching the tyre. That's supposed to be connected up there, so the stand's off. And I think to get this stand off I'm going to have to take this cover off on the exhaust off. And luckily for me, I've got round the back of the garage, I've got 2 spare engines for this bike, so I might be able to have a look and see how to get it off on a dismounted engine, which might be a bit easier, but for today I'm going to start with this mower. I've got no reason to film all this repair. I've done this before, just showed you taking this guard off under here. There's just a couple of screws normally pull out. Just wire brush all this lot off and clean the grass out right around the back of this box. But one thing I will always say is, this is something I always do, is just take a wire brush like this, get some WD-40 and just spray it on, and actually just clean this bolt off here before you try and take it out, because if you ram that off then you're never going to get this blade off. You'll have a real job. So that's something I always do when I'm taking the blade off a mower, is always clean that off first. Just use a bit of WD and a wire brush. I'm going to pull this guard off. You can actually see already under here just how much stuff there is under here. People wonder why the belt comes off. You know, if it's dragging around the back of here, it gets caught around the back of this belt and it pulls the belt off, so you need to get absolutely everything out of it. You won't believe how much you can get in here. I mean, look at this lot, 2 handfuls so far, and still going. There's still plenty more to get out of here. This is something I do, so I've had too many people ring me up and say the belt's come off and they've had 3 foot long grass, and it's somehow my fault. But just to try and eliminate this, I always just do this, take this off completely. It's a lot easier. And I also want to do that because I want to get to this cable under here that runs through here. This is actually the self-drive cable. It's a bit frayed at the top, so I want to see how easy it is to get this off and just replace this. So to help get to the back of this transmission box here, it actually makes it a little bit easy. If you take the blade off and just unhook the belt, this box just actually drops down a little bit. We might be able to just see around the back of that a little bit easier. I've got this blade off, and actually without getting a 2-jaw puller and pulling this off, it's quite stuck as that, but I can actually get to this fairly well here. You can see here this cable reroutes. You see how much cleaner it is now and how I can get in. Now I think what I just need to do is take a pair of long nose pliers. It's actually got one of them little clips in. If you squeeze it together and push it back through the hole, it should pop through this way and lift up. There's actually a little notch, a little cut out here. It should lift up and I should be able to unhook it from the back of this box here. There's actually a set of springs. I'm sure there's one little spring that hooks over the back. Not sure if you can see it on there, but once the tension's off, it should be able to just lift that off. Okay, so I've taken this belt off. There's actually, on some of these machines, there is actually an adjustment on the back. And as you can see, this is all just behind where the grass box normally sits here. This is all quite slack. But what I want to do is get this box hanging right down so I can get to the back of it. So I'm just going to undo all this. Just get a screwdriver, a socket on there. And I'm just going to take this off, and hopefully it'll drop right down. We'll just take this off here. Not sure if I have to take this right out.
I've got a Mountfield here.
I'm going to go as far as I can without actually taking this off. I'll have a look first. Don't want to completely remove anything if I don't need to. Let's take a look underneath. Okay, so with a bit of gentle persuasion we have this cable off now. You can see here it actually sits in this notch. Now the way to get it off, you actually have to you see these parts here, you have to actually squeeze these together and actually pull it back through. You actually pull it back through this this hole here. Pull it back through and then lift it up, and it unhooks. If you just try and push it up, you'll never get it off. It's designed that way so it can't ever come off, so you must just push it off. I had a bit of bother to get in really. I didn't really have the right tool to get in, and I was trying to do it with some pliers. See here, I've just been catching this cable, and in the end I actually just managed to do it with my fingers. It was actually easy to do it with my fingers and just pull it back through, and then you're lifting this wire part actually through this this cutout under here, so it actually lifts up just the wire part, not the actual outer case or anything like that. You pull it back through and lift it up over the top. And I'm going to pull this off now. I'll have to actually take it off the handle, and you have to actually thread it through under here. Of course I could cut it off, but I'm going to need to take it off anyway, so I might as well take it off from the handle side and pull it out. And then once I've got this off, I always like to take them off first, then I can check on what I'm buying on the internet rather than just giving the correct mower model number and the part number. If I'm not sure what it is, I actually like to have a look and make sure it's got the same connection on, because the box is slightly vary as well from time to time. So eventually I managed to get that off, and I'm going to take this cable off from the handle. So I'm just going to try and pull it through now. Pull it to here. You can actually see that it's just about to go through there. I'll get that out. A real faff of a job, a bit of a pain really, but eventually I've actually got this this cable off. As you can see here, I don't really want to sell it with this in this condition. It's not fair really, you know, it's probably got a bit more life in it, but it's not worth the hassle. I'd rather spend 20 minutes just replacing this. Probably buy one of these. People ask me where I buy parts from. Actually, the place I first always look is on eBay, just to try and get the cheapest price. If someone's got a serviceable second-hand one, if you like, I just get that. If it's, you know, might have not even been used, old stock or something. But if not, I actually use a company called Garden Hire Spares, which are in the UK, which are very good. The customer service is great. You send them an email and they get back to you straight away. I use them a lot. I actually have the correct part now for this. That might just help me make sure I've got the correct part as well. So I'm going to get another one. I need to reroute that back on, and I'll start servicing this up.